Hi, welcome to the third lesson of this course. This is going to be a short but very important lesson. In this lesson, we are discussing the preparation that needs to go into starting a design work. So now that you are starting the design career or you are learning graphic design, one thing you need to notice is that before any design at all, before you turn out any poster or flyer at all, you have to do some form of preparation. And in this lesson, I want to walk you through the kind of preparation you need to do when you want to create a design. First and foremost, you need to establish which platform you'll be sharing your design to. I've mentioned in a previous lesson that the platform that you are sharing your design to will determine the size for which you have to design. So for instance, if the design that or whatever you are designing is going to be printed, in what format do you want it to be printed? So if it is a document, are you printing it A4? Are you printing it A3? Like there are different sizes. If you are posting it to Facebook, what size are you supposed to print design it? If you are posting to Instagram story, what size are you supposed to design it? So this is very peculiar. Before any design at all, first establish the size you want to use for design. And if for any software at all, when you are going to use it to design, you have to set the size. So that is why I say it is the most important thing or the first thing to consider when you are preparing to do a design. So this can easily you can easily find the size by just going to Google and looking for the size that you want. So for instance, if let's say I want to just go to google.com, then I want to design for a Facebook post. So you just type Facebook post size. Yeah, so anything you want, you just type size. So if it is a banner, you just type this banner size or this banner size or web banner size. So for Facebook post size, you can see that 1200 by 620. This is actually in terms of pixels. So now you have to record it down that your design is going to be 1200 by 630, or over here too we have 940. So for Facebook feed post images, the optimal size is 940 by 788. So there is some form of research that you do before you start your design. Hence, you want to put it down that the design that I'm about to do, I need this size 940 by 788 pixels. Then if it's any other thing, let's go to Instagram story post. Instagram story. Instagram story. So for Instagram story, as you can see, the size is 1080 by 1920. So you want to check 10, you want to write it down 1080 by 1920, and you have this at the back of your mind. So that when we get to the design stage, you are able to set the size that you want to design for and go ahead with your design. After you've decided on the size, the next thing you want to decide on is the design work itself or the purpose of the design. So for instance, if the design is for, let's say, an upcoming event, then you have to keep that in mind that this is an upcoming event. Or the design is for a product, you are promoting a particular product, or somebody is selling something, you want to design something to promote it, or an event is coming on and you want to create the hype around that event. So you have to get the purpose for which you are doing this particular design. If let's say it is some vacation classes that is being organized, you have it at the back of your mind that I'm designing a vacation classes flyer or a poster. So you need to know the purpose for which you are designing. You don't just get up and say, oh, I want to do a design, and you have nothing at the back of your head. So anytime you want to design, you should have a reason why you want to design. So the question I'll throw to you is, why do you want to do this design, or what is the design for? So if you're able to get an answer for it, you can quickly write it down. And this is the research process that we are going through. So one, you've established the size depending on where you want to post it to. Then two, you have determined the purpose why you are designing it, or what that design is going to be used for. So if it is going to be a brochure, then we will know that it's a brochure, so we have to design it as such. If it's going to be for, let's say, a political campaign, then you know that it's for political campaign, or it's a church program that you are advertising. So depending on the purpose, that one too will influence the design that you do, and even the colors that you choose and everything. So this is also an important step. Make sure you know the size, you know the reason or why you are doing that particular design, or for what you are doing the design. Now that you've established the size and the purpose of the design, the next thing you want to look at is to get inspiration for the work that you are going to do. So as a beginner, it's not easy to come by design concepts all by yourself. Hence, it's very key that you look for inspiration. You find places where similar designs have been done, so that you try to replicate the work that has been done. That's the secret of every designer. No one turns out to be good when they begin, and it's very difficult coming up with design concepts when you have nothing. Personally, I had this challenge of not knowing that I was supposed to just look on others for inspiration for my designs, and I was always trying to come up with something from scratch, and it took me a very long time to appreciate this particular thing that I'm telling you right now. And because of that, I struggled a lot to master the act of graphic design. But here I am giving you this secret that, well, just as you are now beginning, you don't have to worry yourself about coming up with your own design concept from scratch. There are lots of work out there that you can look on. So you've already established the size, you've established the purpose of the design. Just go out to the various sites that I'm going to mention soon. Look at samples that people have done, then try and replicate it. By doing so, that is when you build your design concept knowledge. So you are able to learn from people's design, then eventually you'll be able to come up with your own concept for your design. So for now, I'm just going to introduce you to some platforms that you can get inspiration for your designs. So there are three basic platforms that I use when it comes to getting inspiration for designs. There are a lot of others that I use when it becomes critical. Check the description below or the notes below, and you get a list of some of these. I'll add a list of some of the sites that you can get inspiration from. But the very common ones that I use is what I want to share with you right now. The first one is Pinterest. I also use Instagram. Then mostly I use Google Images. What do I mean by Google Images? So depending on what you are looking for, you just search it. If let's say it is a church flyer or an upcoming event, or let's say I want an artwork for this particular course that I'm doing, I can just go online and search for something related to that and get inspiration from other people's uh, designs or flyers that they've put out there. Then I'll be able to design something from based on what I see. So let's take a look at an example. So for instance, if I want to design a cover, an artwork for this particular course, let's go and search. So over here, your searching skills or your ability to search using the right keywords will be very helpful. You have to be able to uh, form the words around the thing, or you look for peculiar keywords that will bring the exact result you are looking for. So for instance, I want an artwork for a new online course. So let's just search this. So over here, I've just come to Google and I've entered artwork for a new online course. Then go to images. So that's where we are interested in, images. Okay. These are not so great because you said artwork. So that's why I mentioned that it's important the wording that you use. So we can use design instead of, you can add flyer design. So you see it is now changing a bit. So depending on the keywords that you use during your search, you may get better results or not. Flyer design for a new online course. Now you can see that we are close. These are new, or these are online courses, flyers for online courses that we can get inspiration from. So you see how I began. I wasn't getting the result I was looking for, but I tried modifying the keywords that I was using. Then now we get something that we can use. So for instance, I think this is cool. I can basically use this concept to do my own design. So I don't necessarily have to copy everything, but I can use the concept in this particular flyer to do my own flyer. And there are a lot of others. So for each of them, once you select it here as I've shown, you go down, you see similar designs. So there will be similar designs that you can as well use. You can click any of them to get similar designs for that particular one. All right, so here you get a lot of them. Almost every image on the internet will be pulled to Google. So if you know how to use your keywords very well in Google, then you don't necessarily need to go searching on various websites, because Google will pull all these images. So these are not images that Google has uploaded by themselves, but rather these are images that people have on their website. So somebody has launched an online course, and the cover image or the artwork that they use for that course is what Google has pulled into its image databases. So here you can get almost every image you are looking for. The key thing is knowing the right keyword to use. Once you have the right keyword, you can have access to all the images out there. So basically, for any other thing that you want, so let's say if it is a church program, we can go like flyer design for church events. Then let's have a look at the results. So as you can see, these are also great designs. You can choose any of them. You get related flyers, or you choose a different one. Then if you pay particular attention, you realize that some of these flyers we actually saw when we were talking about the Poster My Wall platform. They were templates over there. You can easily go there to edit, but they are also available for your inspiration. So you need inspiration to be able to come up with your own design concept. You have to start with someone's own. So for instance, let's say this particular one is very simple, and you can redesign this using Canva. As we go ahead, we will look at how to do some of these designs. So basically in this lesson, what I'm trying to draw your attention to is the fact that you need inspiration when it comes to design. Coming up with your own design concept as a beginner is quite difficult, but with time you'll be able to come up with your own design concept. When I say design concept, I mean like the design. Maybe I'll put a text here, I'll put an image. The image, it will be in a rectangle, not a circle. Like all those things forms the design concept. So coming up with your own is a bit difficult when you are just starting. However, you can equally get inspired from other people's work. So just as we are looking at this, we can look at it and say, okay, so for this particular one, instead of this square like image, I want to use a circle, or I want to use a rounded rectangle, or any other shape, a pentagon, like any shape at all that you want to use, you can use to replace this. So you have already gotten the inspiration and you are building upon it. You can also as well just redesign it using your own design elements. So basically you are using different images, you are using different text, you are using different colors, and it will come out to be your own design, even though you got the inspiration from an already existing work. But nobody is out there to penalize you for the work. Once the design is nice, everybody will appreciate it, and no one will complain about the fact that you used other people's work. So you really need inspiration for every design that you do. Most of the time I hear beginner designers talk about the fact that they are not able to design good designs, or they are not able to come up with good designs. So the advice here is that you have to look out for what is good already, look out for what you see as nice, try replicating, and in the process you develop the skill or that muscle to be able to come up with your own concept. So the next platform that you can use to get inspiration is Pinterest. And with Pinterest, let's go to Pinterest. Pinterest.com. All right, so Pinterest too is a collection of images, and now almost every blog you can easily save an image from that blog to Pinterest. So a lot of bloggers are using it. So you can get a lot of designs from here. When you come here and you want to search, so let's say online course. So the search key is all about keywords. Once you get the right keywords, you'll be able to pull the right images related to that keyword and you use it. So usually the designs here too are in the form of infographics. So if you are interested in designing infographics, then this is the best site to get. However, you can look at the design concept here, then you go and replicate it in a different site altogether for whatever purpose that you want to use your design for. So for instance, let's say if this is something you think is nice, you can use it. There are a lot of other designs that you can use. Let's say this particular and the best online course platform for starters. So you can try any of these. Instagram is the next platform that you can use. Instagram, as we all know, is more of a photo or an image or a picture app where people upload images. You can't post any other content. Okay, you can actually post videos, but mostly people put images out there. So if you go, depending on what you are looking for, so the key there too is has to do with the keywords. So the right using the right hashtag in terms of Instagram words, you need a right hashtag to be able to assess the type of design that you are looking for. But basically, most of the designs will come from Google. So don't worry yourself about the others. Provided you can use the right keywords in Google, you'll be able to get the right source or the right inspiration for the design that you are looking for. So a quick recap on this lesson. In this lesson, we've learned that before you do any design, you need to plan. And the first step is to get the size of the design that you want. You can easily Google it and you get the size. So for whatever design you are doing, just Google it. If it's for Facebook, Google Facebook the size. Then we've also learned that after you've established the size, you also need to know the purpose of the design. So what is the design going to be used for? Is it a church flyer? Is it an event hype? Or is it an online course artwork? Is it a podcast artwork? Is it a logo? So all these that you are looking for, once you've been able to establish the purpose, then you can go ahead and look for inspiration or look at other people's work and try and replicate some, since you've not developed your design concept muscles, but with time you'll be able to build it and develop your own. I'll see you in the next lesson.